Hello.
Hi.
How's your morning?
Good. I could sleep for nearly 12 hours. A big luxury. I so needed it. I
Yeah.
hope I don't look too tired.
No, you look amazing. You look perfect, and it's an amazing view as well.
Yeah, and it's not raining.
Are,
We're lucky.
are you used to the rain when you come to London?
Yeah, but it comes and go, That's the good thing. In Paris, when it rains, it's like heavy rain.
Yeah.
Here, it's just like
You can hide.
mists and, it's okay.
Oh, cool.
Showers and
So, what's the name of the album?
calling from the stars.
And when's that released?
22nd of April.
Cool, cool. Well, I've had a preview of it, and it's amazing.
Thank
Good
you.
work. So, how long have you been working on it for?
I don't know. I just wrote songs at home here and there and collected them, and I thought they were just like ideas to bring them to my producer friend and make them bigger. But when I played the tracks to him, he said, "They are finished. Let's mix them right away as they are." So I was like, "Wow, I'm finally making music totally on my own." And then I brought later on the idea to release a second part to it, which is more ambient, electronica, inspired from my love of the early 90s warp stuff.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So it's a good combination.
Now it's 100% your album. How does that make you feel? Are you vulnerable that at all?
No, I'm happy because it's a big achievement for me
Certainly is.
to have made music on my own, and that's what I always wanted to do. I wanted to produce people and write for people. It's more rewarding for me the writing than the performing side. But I have to go through the performing side to be able to recognize as a songwriter. And I've been doing this for 20 years, and it's very hard to in the electronic music world to be respected as a songwriter, because when you see what electronic music people do, like DJs, it's not songs. It's club tracks and it's David Guetta like, and I always wanted to push pop music forward and in a different way. I wanted to use my computer as people use a guitar or a piano, you know. So I'm working hard on it.
Yeah. So you mentioned David Guetta, and there's the likes of Calvin Harris as well, who are pushing that into the chart territory. If they asked you to work on something, would you work with them?
Well, David Guetta asked me like 8 years ago. He said he has some 80s stuff for me, but I just did that with the hacker, and I didn't feel the desire to do another new wave 80s influence thing with
Yeah.
someone else. I had the hacker for that. So, I mean, David is a very nice person, but I was never really interested to work with him, so,
Yeah.
you know. You're selling dreams, you're selling hope, and that's the aim of entertainment business. And even if I'm in the not such the mass media part of it, I'm still selling that when I play in clubs every weekend. And it's a social work. You make people's life easier. When they come, they have problems all week, and they just want to forget about everything. So you do the washing machine, and they are supposed to leave the place better than when they arrived. I mean, emotionally, mentally, physically, they are often wrecked, but you have to give them the input that they can change their life, that they can on Monday go to work and make things better for themselves. That's the ideal situation, and it's a way for me to give back what I got. This luck I had to be an artist.
Do you
But
think
at,
it's luck? Sorry to.
but, but at the same time, you have a big part of humanity who is very lazy, who doesn't want to do the work on yourself you need to do to be a better person, to be happier, to be in a better shape, and to so many people are just running away from who they are and running away from problems. That's what I learned as a musician on the road. We are here to improve as persons. And of course, when these people rely on me, want from me, want to suck my light and all the things I worked hard to build, then it's a no, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's the hard part. You have to be in a bubble where you accept the good energy, but that is close to bad energy, and that's really difficult. It takes years to do that,
Yeah.
and it takes a lot of work with a lot of work.
Yeah. How do you feel about press interviews like this? Because there's an element of that is part of the.
But that's
part of the
okay.
game.
It's part of the job again. Like, I'm not complaining to have to talk about
Yeah.
my job, about my work, about the things I created. It's totally normal. It's also part of the job to repeat always
Yeah.
the same answers if it's the same questions. But even though I try to be creative also in that field.
Yeah.
For that, I need a good night of sleep, and I can be very creative, even if I repeat the same things.
Yeah. Do you read what people have to write about you? Do you read your
Never.
input? So you don't take any criticism on board when you're creating?
Well, again, criticism is part of the job, and you can't please everybody. You may be happy about what you did and do your best always, and that's what I try to do. But some people don't like me, and I irritate some people, and it's totally normal. I also have some artists who I find irritating, but it's part of the game. So, and honestly, I don't have time to read what people say about
Yeah.
me. And this is one of the first things I learned also as an artist, is to never listen to what people say, because you can't please everybody, and it's hard enough to be yourself, and it's too much work to try to please everybody. I think if you do, you have a real problem as a person. There is something in your childhood that made you want to be loved so much that you are searching for all of this outside of you, but this is inside of you, and no one can take it away from you. So I don't read criticism. When I do, I'm always like, of course I take it bad, but there is also good reviews. So you have to focus on the bright sides and accept the bad critics as well.
What do you make when people labelled you one of the creators, the accidental creators of Electroclash, which you've probably been asked a million times to
Well,
adopt?
it's funny because at that time, as I was saying before, I was touring live in small clubs in East Germany for years before suddenly the glamour arrived with these words. And we were laughing, because for me I was doing kind of Detroit electro, nothing to do with Electroclash, whatever. But now, of course, I'm happy to have accidentally left a trace, because it's probably the dream of many musicians to leave a trace in history.
At the time, did it make you want to step away from it at all?
Yes, I did, because I came into this rave party world to be free.
Yeah.
Because it taught me freedom, something new, and suddenly, because I was doing something cool, they wanted to take that away from me and make me something that I'm not. This would have been exactly the way to not to be free. And that's the problem when you start to have success. Most of the time, you lose your freedom because you have people telling you what you have to do, and you spend your time trying to keep this integrity and say no, 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 you know. So the more you want something from me, the less I'm gonna give it. That's easy. So
Is that?
that's why I'm still here, I think.
I was going to ask you, is that part of keeping some sort of sanity and privacy, and what's it about?
I think it's just the way I am. I'm just deeply rebellious. In I say it in the good sense of the word, like Johnny Rotten said, punk, no future, what for? It's useless. Do you have a solution? Do you propose
Yeah.
something else? Work hard, go to school, and then you can fuck the system from inside. And I always thought that was the best way to be a rebel.
Talking
you know?
about rebels and fucking the system, what do you make of the, well, with the internet as a result, musicians are making less money because you can't sell as much music as you can these days because you don't have to pay for it. What do you make of that people, your fans can download your music for free?
I never lived from record sales because I never made music to sell that much. So for me, I was always living in a kind of crisis, you know.
Yeah.
Of course, I was lucky in the early 2000 to sell a lot of records, and yeah, it brought me some money, but I live from touring, from DJing, and I think it's cool
And
because you have to defend your work on the road, and that's where you learn everything. And it's justice to to be rewarded from what you can really show your skills in real time, because it's easy to make a great record in a studio. You don't know how to sing, they adjust your voice, and then when you go on stage, that's where you can't lie. You really have to show what you do. So I'm okay with that. I'm okay with the fact there will always be sneakers and people who try to get things for free all the time, download things for free just because they don't like to pay. You can't fight against
Yeah.
that anyway. So, but there is karma. These people who steal things, they will get back somehow, you know, and they don't kill anyone basically, you know.
yeah.
It's not really a crime, I think, to if you have no money to try to get the music for free. It's a shame. It's a shame on you if you have the money and just because you think you can have it for free, you don't want to pay for it. But that's between you and you. It's your
Yeah.
conscious, you know, your consciousness.
Oh, cool.
So, but you know, I'm busy with other things.
Cool.
So-
Well, it was really sweet chatting to you. I really appreciate you taking the time out.
Me too.
Lovely to meet you, and good luck with tomorrow night, and
Thank you.
have a good, lovely weekend in London. Thank you.
Thank you.